Hi, and welcome back to the show. Let's go to Harris Chester on Monday. And the feature race was a $30,000 event for trotters. And it was a good one, too. Low Leak with John Wagner, who's based in Maryland, was the 3-2 chalk. Ripped with Yannick Gingras, the 7-2 second choice. And Starzl, Darrell Beer, was the public's 5-1 third choice. And here's James with that call.
Starzl leads a length and a half. Low Leak tracks comfortably in the pocket. Sergeant York is now locked in by the first over LT's Best, who has moved within 3 lengths of the lead with 1 circuit behind them. From the front quartet, we come back a length and 3/4 to Jam Van Gogh outside of Ripped. The trailing pair remains CR Dreamcatcher at the inside and Dennis on the outside. They're covered by 6.5 lengths as they reach 3/4 in 1:25.2. And Starzl is now joined and overtaken by LT's Best. LT's Best on the outside by 3 parts of a length. Sergeant York is in the clear and advancing. Starzl begins to backpedal. Low Leak needs racing room. Dennis is sweeping up from the back of the pack but has 4.5 to make up. They're at the top of the stretch. LT's Best and Sergeant York, their noses apart, and now Sergeant York takes the lead.
Talk about your bombs away. Eric Goodell guided Sergeant York off at nearly 22-1. He brings in lots of bombers, too. To victory in 154.2. LT's Best was second for Vince Copeland at 11-1. Got ripped and then got third for Yannick Gingras. And Morris, the exact, comes back 1-4. Now, what's the significance of 1-4? They're my numbers. I play 1-4 all the time. And Bruce Casella, the producer of the show, he went to Harrah's, and did he ask me to go with him so I could have maybe bet the 1-4 and grab myself $317 and change? No. The try comes back 1-4-5, 1,500 plus, and the Super, all you had to do was play it, 1-4-5 all, return more than the try, $1,678.
Oh, my numbers didn't come in. My numbers are 2-2.
2-2? Okay, let's go back to Harrah's on Sunday, one day before. We'll rewind. And here's Heather.
We're going to check out more fillies and mares.
Good.
A $15,000 to $20,000 handicap here. Sweet Temptation is trained by Bruce Saunders. A little tidbit here. I don't know if you knew this, but Bruce Saunders is the former brother-in-law to the Vice President, Joe Biden.
Get out of town.
No, I'm serious.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. He was married to his sister. Yeah, there you go. I got it. I got the family tree now.
How did you know that?
How did I know that?
What, are you a
She's a Troublemaker, loves the Chester Oval. She's been racing Super here, and Gracie Lynn is the race favorite.
Midway around the far turn, Gracie Lynn at the inside. She's a Troublemaker on the outside. Gracie Lynn still with the head in front, approaching head stretch. Sweet Temptation is in the clear. Royal Fortune is gapping the pocket. And now moving 3 wide. That's West Coast Arturo, 150 to go. She's a Troublemaker takes over. Gracie Lynn is all out. Then Sweet Temptation and West Coast Arturo. She's a Troublemaker.
Gracie Lynn cuts out the fractions, and She's a Troublemaker and driver Brian Sears had post 8. They end up actually pulling first over, like right past the stands. Really, really race Super because She's a Troublemaker ends up winning in 152.2. This mare is 10 years old, and this was her lifetime mark.
Wow.
Now, she came up from down under and just started racing as a 4-year-old, so it's not like she's been racing since she was 2.
But not too many horses set their lifetime mark at 10.
No, absolutely not. And here's a little something you may not know.
Yes.
Corey Callahan's a regular driver of She's a Troublemaker. Actually, won with her, I believe it was last week. Corey Callahan was in Cancun having a little fun on this day. So.
Are you stalking him, too?
No, but I got myself little texting. You can find out a lot of information.
What is this? Access Hollywood has become? That's really interesting.
Sweet Temptation paced up for second. Gracie Lynn hung on for third. Now we're going to go to an interview with Christopher Offutt, I believe.
I'll get Offutt.
I think I know that name. DVC Firm Belief.
Yeah?
Yeah, a big family, long-time family in harness racing. So I'm curious to see what he had to say.
We're here with Christopher Offutt in the Harris Chester paddock area. And Christopher, like a lot of your fellow drivers, you got into this business because it was in your bloodlines, right?
Yeah, it was in my bloodlines. My grandfather did it, and my father, and now me and my brother.
And you got into it at what age?
Driving. I drove my first race when I was 14, and then 16 at the fairs, and there on been doing all right so far.
And you're 24 years old now?
Yes.
Now your dad is a pretty famous name in this business. Your granddad's name was what?
Bernard Offutt.
Okay. What are your aspirations? What are your dreams? What are your goals in this business?
To keep getting good horses and do good and make a lot of money, hopefully.
And you pattern yourself after any particular style or anybody, your dad maybe, your own lineage, or drivers you drive with?
Many of the drivers up here, pretty much, they're all good.
And this is a very tough circuit to be on. Do you like the challenge of that?
Yeah, as long as I have a good horse, it doesn't really bother me.
Thank you so much, Christopher. And you know, during the interview, I was thinking that I think I messed up on that horse's name. It's not DVC Firm Belief, it's DVC Firm Believer. I actually made a mistake. See, before I thought I made a mistake, but I was mistaken. Yeah. This time I actually did make a mistake, so I'm sorry about that.
Are you trying to lead the viewers to believe that you actually think when we're out on the camera?
Every once in a while I do. Oh my goodness. Yes. We're up to like your favorite part of the show.
The blast from the past? Don't go anywhere, we're coming back. The blast is next.
Every day is a new experience at Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs with a state-of-the-art casino floor, tantalizing new restaurants, high-energy nightlife, exciting new shopping venues, and more. It's all here and all for you. It's everything you're looking for.
Live evening harness racing is back. Experience the thrill every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 1 p.m. Don't miss a moment. Now through November 21st. Welcome to our world.
Well, hello and welcome back. It's time for my favorite segment of the show. Well, they're all my favorite segment, but this has a little extra because it's old like me. It's called The Blast from the Past, and we go back into the archives of harness racing where there have been so many terrific races, and this is one of them.
A dark and gloomy day in Paris as 19 horses go to the starting line for the 39th running of the rich Prix d'Amérique. The horses start on the turn and come downhill in the first rush past the grandstand. This is a 2,600-meter race, about 1 mile and 5/8, and there are 3 entries from the U.S., all far back in the pack. As they pass the stands, number 14, Patara, is running easily in the lead. He's a French horse who has won his last 6 races and went off as the 3rd favorite. At the top of the backstretch, there's trouble brewing for Patara. As the crowd screams, he slips, falls, and his rider is thrown from the sulky. Nike Hanover takes the lead as Patara pulls the empty sulky along the rail. Still striving to get home first. He's squeezed towards the infield and crashes through the fence. Meanwhile, Nike Hanover runs the rest of the pack right into the ground. At 81 to 1, he goes over in the 2nd fastest time for this classic. Patara and driver are both uninjured, and the hero of the day is the American horse who now lives in Italy.
Now, you ready? Are we going to surprise him now? The George M. Levy Memorial Free-for-All Pace has been contested at Yonkers for the last several weeks. The final is coming up tonight. We'll get to that in a minute, but here's the last division. And foiled again was the overwhelming 1-2 chalk for Yannick Gingras in the 6-horse heat. Real Nice and Bouchard, the 2-1 second choice. And foiled again blew their doors off, jogging by 4 in 152 and 2. Real Nice closed well to grab the belly for a chalk exacta. Here's Heather with the second.
We've gotten here Holy Louis with Stephane Bouchard. Now this horse went off at 3-5 against 5 rivals. It was just not to be for Holy Louis, as JP Jackpot, the second choice with Yonkers' leading driver Jason Bartlett. They went wire to wire, and they won by 3 lengths in 153 flat. Holy Louis did end up finishing second.
In the 3rd division, Blue Ridge Western, an easy winner last week for Bartlett, was sent off at 3-5. P.S. I Love You Heartbreaker was the 5-2 second choice. Lucky Better, the public's 3-1 third choice. Blue Ridge Western won it, but it wasn't easy. He had to come first up and guts out a win in 152 and 3. Lucky Better over P.S. I Love You for the place. And the $200,000 final of the Levy takes place tonight, which means you can bet it either at Harrah's Chester or at Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs. It's going to be a terrific race. And just like that, because you've spent so much of this half hour talking, there was no time left for me to talk. We're out of time. So for Heather Moffett, I'm Steve Ross. Have yourself a terrific week. Take care.